Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes,
Purple
yes.
Park with the RCMP.
Yeah.
I can get you step out of the vehicle. I'm going to place you under arrest right now.
Yeah.
Mr. Pallister was very direct about what he did to me, because the day before my rally, the day before me being arrested, he said publicly during a press conference that
Well, he's violating the public health orders. He's going to be lighting a pocketbook.
so it was politically motivated. There's nothing with respecting our constitution, or there's nothing based on science. It's based on compliance, and that's why Canadians must know that we must fight for our freedom, because now we cannot take our freedom for granted anymore in this country.
Alexa for Rebel News. I'm here today with Maxime Bernier. He just been arrested in Manitoba, so I'm interested to know about his story.
Yes, I didn't expect that. Actually, as you know, I'm doing a Mad Max a Freedom Tour all across the country. I was in BC, in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, and speaking about freedom, speaking about what we believe in the People's Party of Canada, and we are the only political party in Canada at the federal level that is against these draconian lockdowns. So my plan was to go to Manitoba and to do the same thing that I did in other provinces. But we had a rally outside Friday morning with my partisan in a little town over there. We were about 15 in a park outside, and I had the opportunity to speak to them and answer their questions. And after that, I received tickets, and the police told me that if I'm doing another rally, if I'm meeting other people in a park outside, I may risk to go to jail and to be arrested. So I called my lawyers. We had a discussion, and my lawyers told me that it is my constitutional rights to travel across the country to speak. There's a freedom of speech in this country, freedom of assembly. And if I'm going there, yes, I'll be at risk to be arrested. But and they told me, if you're arrested, we will fight that and you will win. It was risky, but I decided to do the other event. And the other event was in Saint-Pierre-Joly, near Winnipeg, about an hour south of Winnipeg. And I did a little meeting with my partisan. We were only maybe 8 there and in a park. And just after that, the police came to me and arrested me. You saw the video. And I was in jail for 8 hours, and they treated me like a criminal. It's not about COVID-19 anymore. It's not about the health regulations and for the well-being of Canadians. It's all political repression. The Premier of Manitoba didn't want me there, didn't want me to speak against these draconian lockdowns. And, it's a little bit like in China. You try to silence your opposition by putting them in jail. And that's actually what he did. And I was in a position to leave the province and be back to Montreal. I did that, but I can tell you that I'll be back in Manitoba. I didn't take any chances because we had a rally the day after. I was in jail for 8 hours from 2 o'clock Friday p.m. until 11:30, something like that Friday. And I had to pay $1,000 and just to be sure that I will be there during the hearing. It was supposed to be the July the 27th, so I'll be there. But I didn't participate in the rally that we had the Saturday because for me the risk was too high to be arrested another time and stay in jail until the hearing July 27. And I'm in a prayer. We will have in Canada an election this fall, and I'm campaigning right now across the country. I cannot be 3 weeks in a jail. So I decided, okay, I'll be back in Montreal. I'll go back in Montreal, and I'll come I'll come back in Manitoba campaigning later. But Mr. Pallister was very direct about what he did to me, because the day before my rally, the day before me being arrested, he said publicly during a press conference that
Well, he's violating the public health orders. He's going to be light in the pocketbook, and I'd suggest that he not violate the public health orders, but of course I'm not going to be directly involved in the enforcement, nor should I be.
so it was politically motivated. There's nothing with respecting our constitution, or there's nothing based on science. It's based on compliance, and that's why Canadians must know that we must fight for our freedom, because now we cannot take our freedom for granted anymore in this country. So can you imagine a politician that is doing a meeting outside in a park with 5-6 person being arrested for that, and at the same time you have our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that is in a G7 meeting, and they're all together, more than 5 person outside, and they're not arrested. It was politically motivated, and that's why it's a shame. It's a shame that a politician is doing that in Canada right now, and they're not able to listen the other point of view, because we have a strong point of view. When you are speaking about the truth and openly with passion and conviction about your ideas, yes, that can be dangerous for the opposition and the other establishment politicians. But I will do that fight, and I want to say to people in Manitoba that I'll be back, and we will fight, and together we will win, because we're not in China. We're not supposed to be in China, in Canada in 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for interrupting. Would you please mind going to rebelnews.com and give us your email address so that we can stay in touch? As you know, YouTube has already gave us 2 strikes, and if we get another one, we're going to be off YouTube, basically. So please consider giving us your email so we can stay in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the question that I was actually thinking, especially like you have been traveling across around Canada for your campaign. Why Manitoba did target you?
Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know why. And there's no justification for that. There's no justification under the law. I think the main reason was they didn't want any opposition. And I think the Premier really enjoy the totalitarian power that is having under the Emergency Act over there. We must ask him why. So it's a shame, and but I'll always fight for what I believe. And like I said to the policeman when he arrested me, he said,
Do you have any weapons or anything on you, sir?
Weapon? I'm a politician, and I don't have any weapon on me.
Anything on you that's going to hurt me or anything like that?
No, anything will hurt you. Only my words, only my philosophy, only what I believe in.
Okay. All right, come on over this way.
But I said, no weapon, no, but my words, my philosophy, what I believe in. And when everybody spoke out and stand up for what they believe, that can be dangerous for totalitarian politicians like the one that we have in Manitoba. And I will always use my words to promote what I believe in and promote the vision that we have for this country. And I'll ask your viewers, if they don't know the People's Party of Canada, they can go on our website, peoplespartyofcanada.ca. They will discover us. If they like our platform, we funded that party on 4 principles: individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness. And we will always follow our principles. We won't do any compromise with our principles, and that's important. And all our policies are in line with our principles. And the most important policy right now, it's fighting against these draconian lockdowns that are imposed by provincial governments all across the country. And at the next election, Canadians will have a choice between all the establishment political parties and the People's Party of Canada. All the other one, they're for lockdowns, they're for violating your rights, your freedom. And us, we want to go back to the normal life. We want people to be able to do what they want to do in life. And we at the People's Party of Canada have faith in people. We have faith that you have the ability, the dignity, and the right to make your own decisions and determine your own destiny. We believe in people. We don't believe in a big, fat government that will tell you what to do with your life. And that will be an important subject for the next campaign. These draconian lockdowns and the impact on our population are huge, healthily, financially, a huge impact, and it will be a clear choice. If you like the lockdowns, if you like what your provincial and federal government did to you for more than 1 year, you'll have a choice between all these establishment political parties. If you want your freedom back, the People's Party of Canada is there for you.
Because you actually travel all across Canada, you saw that in every province they have their own lockdown measure. Some are more severe than others. But how do you explain that Quebec is as severe as that?
I think you're right. You know, Quebec, Alberta, and Manitoba, they're the worst. In BC, they didn't impose draconian lockdowns like they did in Alberta, in Manitoba, in Quebec. It's different in every province. So why it is different in every province? I really don't know. Depending of the government, you may think when you have a provincial conservative government versus an NDP government. Usually, if you're a conservative, you're more on the side of the freedom and personal rights. But actually, that was the opposite during that crisis. The conservative governments all across the country at the provincial level were they imposed more draconian measures than, for example, in BC, when they have an NDP government at the provincial level over there. So I don't know why. I can tell you that they were listening their civil servant, bureaucrats, medical expert, and without trying to have another point of view, like the governor of Florida did, the governor of Texas, and other states in the U.S. They had, yes, the advice of their bureaucrats, medical experts, but there's other experts that said since the beginning of that crisis that lockdowns are not the solution. It's the first time in the history of the world that we use lockdowns to fight a virus, and it's an experiment, and it's a failed experiment. So I hope all these provinces that are still imposing lockdowns will stop that, and we need more pressure from the population, and that's why I'm traveling across the country, and that must end. We don't need a plan to end these lockdowns. We need to act right now, and I'm using my words. I'm using my position as a leader of the People's Party of Canada to influence, because it's a public opinion battle right now, and the more people will be on our side, the easier it will be for these politicians that are looking at polls or survey, and they don't do politics based on conviction. If we are able to influence a tiny majority of Canadians, that will change. And that's the battle that I'm doing, a public battle, public opinion battle, to win that public opinion battle. But now I will do that battle in court July the 27th because I've been put in jail for my conviction. But I'll fight that, and that will be a good precedent to keep our democracy in our country.
And that is a thing that I'm wondering if Manitoba would not having started a battle against you by all provinces. Do you think that it's what will happen in the next few months?
No, I will be, like I said, I'll be back in Manitoba as soon as I can. I'll do my freedom rallies that I wanted to do, and I'll be back in court. But I can assure you, I can say to Premier Pallister that I'll see you in court and I will win. I will win. And I'm doing that not for Maxime Bernier, not for the People's Party, but for all Canadians. That decision in court that we will have in our favor will be a precedent that will be important, because no more governments will be able to do what they did to me. You have a right to speak to your people. I was in a park outside speaking as a politician. You may have that right to do that.
So hey guys, if you appreciate what we are doing and you want to support us, please go to lockdownreport.com and maybe giving a donation to help us to bring you the other side of the story. Thanks.